Hello, hello. Is anybody here? Can anybody hear me? Fresh cup of coffee in hand, ready for some camera insider knowledge. You came to the wrong place. No knowledge here. No, I'm just kidding. We can have some fun, talk. Let's wait for people to start filing in. I actually have my coffee over here too. That's why I'm running a little late. Went and drove and got some coffee. Who is all here? Hey, Mr. Cryer, thank you for showing up. Wow. I start up and people just stop talking. So let me get a few things pulled up while I wait people start on this chat here. Can everybody hear me good? Is my mic good? No Nakashita, no camera rumors or Canon rumors. I know it is gonna be an issue. Let's see, where's my... Yeah, that's a big thing. That's gonna be our main topic, I guess. I mean, obviously the topics are very loose when it comes to this type of thing. We should, as we talk and as we interact, the topics can change, but that is a big one. Coming through clearly. Thank you, Mr. Cryer. I appreciate that. Yeah, Canon Rumors. They've been... I hear you fine. Thank you, Robert. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, Canon Rumors to me has been it's probably my number one source as far as getting my news, and they're very accurate. At least when they say that something is reliable, they let you know if they think it's reliable or if they're not sure about it. And if they think it's like reliable, they put it as a CR3, then you can pretty much guarantee on it. Why did he quit, kiddo? Yeah, we're going to go over that. And I think y'all have a little more information, maybe even than me, if you are on Twitter and follow him on Twitter, you might know a little bit more than me. But let me pull this up here on screen and we can kind of skim it together here. Let me see here. Still new to these live streams, so forgive me if I'm slow. All right, here we go. Let me see here. Let me pull off the chat. All right. Let's see. So here we go. He said, that's all, folks, right here. Apparently, and this is like, I was actually thinking about making, oh man, super chatting me. Come on, Long Rider. COVID. No, he didn't die. No, he didn't stop from COVID. No. Thank you, Long Rider. I really appreciate it. So essentially, it seems like he quit because of the negative market, or the negative, I guess, feedbacks of some of the fans. Underneath here, he's talking about that over the past 24 hours, he said, I thought this would be a sad day. I was wrong. The last 24 hours have been the most horrible hours of my life. This has sort of been in the works for about the last year or so. I've had so much fun over this with this site over the last 2 or 3 years. A new demographic of people have exhausted me. I think a lot has changed, started to change of the YouTube personalities. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Was it my fault? Over the last 5 years, nothing is about information anymore. It's only about those who are saying it. This is true from all forms of media, and I really don't want to be a part of it. So apparently he was getting harassed on different types of social media like Twitter. He said, little fanboys of certain YouTubers that have obviously been raised horribly. What was in my inbox, I won't even show my wife. So yesterday they came at his children and his wife. So I don't know exactly like what did they actually come at him with. If any of you are on Twitter and actually know that particular part, I'm not sure. But apparently it's just toxicity, I think, of the industry, of the news industry and the rumor industry. I mean, I don't know why people would be going after him in such a horrible way. To me, I mean, he's just providing a great service, a great news service to me, and I didn't know that he was actually taking so much flack, but apparently he was. Let's see. Were y'all able to read that? Let's see here. What up, Golden Key? Yeah, this is a sad day. I agree, Mr. J Nice. Um, yeah, I don't know how much flack or why he would be taking so much flack from people. I mean, he's always very transparent with what he does. He's very, you know, accurate. Like I said, when he says something is a CR3, it pretty much always happens. He announced this R5C like a year before Canon announced the R5C. So, um, not enough people getting laid. Yeah, I guess a lot of the fanboys out here or whatever. I don't know. He said like certain YouTube personality people, and I don't know who that particularly was. I was like reading it. I was like, I hope my name doesn't come up. I just cover his stuff. I hope I'm always in respectful. Um, I don't know why he tends to, or who was coming after somebody's family like that. I mean, I've had negative, uh, I don't know what's the word, comments and things like that. But I mean, I can't even imagine on his level. Too much brand didn't fight. I guess it infighting. I guess he just got tired of it. Makes me not want to watch YouTube anymore. Just too much nonsense. Well, don't completely quit watching Wrong Rider. I always appreciate your conversations. Man, he was incredible and loved the information he gave us. I agree. I really do. I think, as far as I'm concerned, he was the best rumor site. Unfortunately, like Sony Alpha Rumors, they try, I guess, but I mean, it's kind of hard for Sony Alpha Rumors doesn't seem to get much right, and I mean, maybe it's Sony's fault. Maybe they're not fault, but maybe that's just the way they want to do business. They want to be very, you know, surprise and shock value when something comes out, but they don't let much leak. And Canon Rumors was very good about that. Your channel is nice too. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, Long Rider, I hadn't seen you in a while. How have you been? What have you been up to? I was thinking all my Canon content was driving Long Rider away. I was like, I miss him coming in and giving his perspective. If you're watching and hadn't hit that like button, please maybe do consider doing that. It'll help get this out to more people so we can get this chat really running. Long Rider, maybe some of these YouTube channels that cover all the rumors now we're stealing views from him and hurting his revenue. Channels like Ordinary Filmmaker. All they do is cover rumors. It gets a little old, I think. I got my Canon R3 and I love it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's possible. As far as I am aware, the Ordinary Filmmaker, I personally like the Ordinary Filmmaker as a person. He's actually shouted out my channel quite a few times. He was a guy that I actually had a one-on-one conversation with, not like basically right after I started my channel, just to see, you know, hey, how are you getting so much growth? Um, but as far as I know, him and Canon Rumors guy, I mean, I think they actually personally talked back and forth. So I'm not really sure if that would be the cause for him in particular, but I don't know. I a lot of times I cover rumors. I make 2 videos a week, so I can't really complain, or I can't really throw stones necessarily, but I try to do it. Mr. Cryer, I'm jealous. Congrats. Yeah, I bet the autofocus is great. R3 is the best wildlife camera. I think I shoot Sony, but I really like what they did with that camera. Yeah, I know. So Long Rider really prefers when he, and I know a lot of people probably prefer that, not to have crazy megapixels with their wildlife photography. 24 megapixels really is enough. Robert M. Long Rider, I did kind of bother me that YouTubers would recite the entire rumor and give people no reason to visit Canon Rumors. Well, I don't know. I feel like I've done that. I'm sorry if I have. Uh, yeah, I mean, I've done that somewhat. I did always link it below, but maybe I mean, I try to give my perspective and more information, but I don't know. I guess maybe it's a double-edged sword. Maybe I should have. I don't know what I could have done different if I'm covering the rumors in the news personally, but maybe you guys have ideas of things that I can do better or do differently. But I personally just hopefully I'm respectful about things when I cover the news. But as far as I know, he didn't necessarily point out that. I think he was more pointing towards some of the fan bases coming literally and attacking him personally. At least that is my understanding of what was happening. It could have been a combination of both things. I'm not really sure. Long Rider, I didn't mean anything against the ordinary filmmaker. As a person, he seems like a very nice guy. It's just the channel content is nothing but rumors. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's his niche that he's found that's working for him, so I can't 100% fault him for it necessarily, but I can you just have to whoever's cup of tea is everybody's cup of tea, I guess. I mean, I try to follow. I mean, it's kind of like a double-edged sword when you're starting off because even some of the bigger YouTubers like Matty Apoya and Tony Northrup and people of that caliber of at least sizes, they talk about they can have their regular stuff, a tutorial or things of that nature, but the camera news or the rumors or a review of a new camera, that's really what's going to take off and get them a lot of views. And you kind of have to, I guess, tote the line of what you do with your channel with what is working. And like for me, I don't get sent cameras. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna get the R1 when it comes out. No, Canon's gonna like, here, take an R1 and review it for us. I'm just not at that level yet. So for me personally, I have to try to be as creative as I can, but I know the videos that are going to work the best are going to be the rumors. I try to add my own input. I always put my references in the comments or in the description, or at least I always mean to. But and I try to just work on the big stuff. I try not to cover every little thing. But anyways, I have idea maybe a link the affiliate site of the rumor. Affiliate, yeah, I do. I mean, not on this particular live stream, but I always try to do that uh, underneath. I used to actually have a graphic, and maybe I should bring that back. I'd have a graphic that said all articles linked below. Oh man, I'm getting a down thumbs down. If people are starting to throw tomatoes. If you're here in the live chat and you have not gave a thumbs up and you would like to, I very much appreciate that. It will get this out to more people, and it will offset my 25% like to down like ratio. Yeah. I like I said, I've already always linked it below. Maybe I should, like I said, bring back that graphic. Kind of waiting on the chat here. I did do a clickbait thing in this video. So the Sony goes down is completely clickbait. And I actually told you guys in the description. So if anybody read the description, I said one of the things in the title was clickbait. I just feel like it's, I think it was kind of needed. No worry. Remember to love those haters. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, as a person, I guess that's where I can understand him to a certain degree. And I can't imagine maybe on his level. I'm surprised he would get hate. The fact that I guess to my knowledge, his face really isn't out there and he isn't talking about things. I don't know who's coming at him like that. But I mean, there's always like fanboys somewhat arguing. And personally, I feel like if Sony does good, Canon does good, Nikon does good, it helps. And I'm going to give my opinion on which particular cameras I think are better, but I want every camera company to succeed because it's going to help all the other camera companies. I've noticed from different things in the past, anytime like essentially a monopoly comes in and gets a hold of something, then the quality just drops because you have no other options. Anytime you're getting like, for example, Canon and Sony going back and forth with their autofocus and their different features, you're getting, better cameras one after another. And then, of course, you see Nikon, stepping up with the Z9 and things like that. So it makes sense. But you get some people who are, fans back and forth that are just completely only for their stuff, and not just in a joking way, like in a legitimate way. Like, hey, if you don't buy Canon, you're stupid. And, I've seen comments like that before too. Or, like, oh, it's Canon. Who cares about this video? I'm like, it's Canon. It's a major player in this industry. But I know, like, even as an individual and as a person trying to get this thing, rolling, I'll get some just negative personal comments. Like the other day on my video, I don't usually like, ooh, poor me. I mean, it's part of what I'm doing, but I'm just saying this is on a smaller scale. I had somebody comment at me, was like, this Italian mafia or this mafio moving hands guy is a complete waste of time. Thank you for the block channel thing or whatever. And I was just like, okay. I was like, how did you know I was Italian? But I was like, I talk with my head. So sorry I wasted your time. Not for you. But it's just kind of like overboard with like personal, like, I'm glad I'm blocking this channel. Like, to me, I just don't, unless somebody said something like way out there, I don't think there's anybody that, I don't even know if there's many people that I would ever like personally attack like that. And I doubt any of you will either. I don't see that in the community. I appreciate that. Anybody out there? I feel like I'm just talking to myself right now. Just kidding. But any back and forth would be appreciated. Have y'all noticed? I guess a question would probably help. What, I know y'all watch it, I mean, as well as me, there are negative people out there on the internet. That's true. Here, bro. Appreciate it, Mr. Cryer. Do you guys feel like y'all have seen more negativity in the camera space when it comes to, like, I guess, different YouTube channels and things of that nature? I don't feel like I've seen many camera YouTubers or camera channel YouTubers really actually personally be negative. But, or at least negative in like a real way and not like a, Canon's crippling things joking way, or, Fro, how he has his sarcastic fun stuff. And can't, when I was doing more camera wars, I was being, I guess, a little negative at certain times, but it was usually for humor purposes. But YouTube is pretty anti-Canon and pro Sony. Yeah, I think it's just, yeah, it's Mr. Cryer said negativity is growing generally, in general, not just on the internet. Unfortunately, that's a sad truth that we can go upon. I don't know why. I think we're just such a tribal natured people. Everybody is to a certain degree, and you have to kind of try to fight back against that. But we've made tribes of everything. I'm not going to get political, but politically we've made tribes. So we've made tribes religiously and just throughout our entire history. And so I think Sony or cameras and football teams, things like that, it's just kind of becoming the new thing. And I think it's a sense of somewhat insecurity about, I was happy personally when I went and decided to do like a dual system type thing, because I knew, and I was lucky to be in that position to be able to do that, or just worked out financially. But I could feel the draw that when I had a Canon, all I wanted to talk about was more Canon stuff, and I didn't want to. It's like when Sony released something really good, I had that like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that. So you had that envy and jealousy. So it's like you have a, your own personal mind start being like, well, I don't like, the button layout or the menu system, and that sucks. So my Canon's better. I mean, I didn't necessarily come out there and say certain stuff, but there's you want to cut something else down so you make yourself feel better about your purchase. So I think that's maybe a part of it as well. Mr. J Nice, this is entertainment. People, they need to relax. If you don't like the content, stop watching. Just simple. I agree. I don't know why people want to go the extra mile to be negative as far as that goes. Do y'all want to keep on this, or this is kind of a depressing subject? Hope I'm not depressing anybody. But it is it's a big thing. Like I didn't want to come out making a lot of jokes about this particular subject because I feel bad about it. I don't want to see somebody who has contributed so much to the camera industry and the news industry. I don't want to see somebody that's been so valuable to everybody, the community, to just say I'm getting away because it's been toxic for me and they're attacking my family. I mean, it's ridiculous, and I can't imagine if people were coming at my family, I wouldn't be very happy, and I have no clue what I would do. So hopefully no one ever does that. Long Ray said, you always do a tongue in cheek. It's a good laugh. Well, I appreciate that. So that's the clickbait title. Sony's going down in the title. Okay, so that's clickbait. We can move on to the clickbait fun. That's the one clickbait fun one. But I mentioned it. I mentioned it in the comments, so I did it on purpose. Let's see here. There was actually like 3 ways I can clickbait that. I just started thinking about it. So Sony Alpha Rumors. The first way Sony went down. This is Sony Alpha Rumors. They're a site that is, I'm just giving my due share to people. This is all coming from Sony Alpha Rumors. They do their best. They mess up rumors a lot of times, but they're trying. One way that Sony goes down is with this spy drone, which I thought was very interesting. And that was clickbait option number 1 with this. But they were using an old Sony 5100 with a 25 millimeter for a spy camera. Okay. I personally thought that they would have something better, but apparently I'm wrong and give the government too much credit. Well, it wasn't a US spy drone, but anyways. Then over here, another one is this video. I'm going to mute this. Did anybody see this? This is the Sony Alpha 1 on one of the ski slopes. I mean, this is going down like it's staying intact. You'll see at the end, something breaks off here. I don't know if it's from the camera or the lens, but I mean, this is going down. I'm assuming it's like plain ice. I think that's a part of the lens. So, I mean, assuming that it still works, I mean, that's impressive. A lot of people talk about how Sony talk about how Sony is a very, I don't know, petite, cameras, and they don't feel durable or sturdy. That to me proves things wrong. So that was an option number one, or option number two for the clickbait. And then this is, I guess, a little bit more serious and not quite as clickbaity when it comes to the Sony thing. But financials of Sony sales did also go down, which is unfortunate. In the Q3 financial report, they did go down here. But the good thing is they expect their sales to go up, or at least they forecast it up. Means that their forecast was saying, for example, that they were going to sell or I guess ship 190. I don't know if this is a 190,000. I'm not exactly sure how many units that is, or what they're doing, but they've upped their forecast. And the reason why it makes sense, or is a very strong indicator. Actually, let's Q3. Let's go over here. The reason why they if they up their forecast and they don't hit it, then that's a really big mark on their company. So I do think that, their stocks will take a hit if they do that, or especially in like the camera division part, and investors will be upset. So I think if they're actually saying, hey, we forecast that it's going to be higher, they're going to do their best, and they actually believe that that is going to be the case, which is a good thing, because we need the camera industry to bounce back in a big way. What are people saying? I agree. We got your back if you come for you, brother. Mr. Cry, I appreciate it. The photographer at the Olympics was hilarious. Canon guy, you saved it. That's funny. Yeah, I thought it was really funny. I enjoyed that. That's why I was like, Sony goes down. I was like, yes, I'll get some of the Sony people in here. And then, it's like I said, that part was clickbait. But I did let everybody know in my description, and I thought it was enjoyable. Let's see here. Long Rider, just me personally, if you're going to give me news, give me the facts, not your opinions. There were far too many people on YouTube giving opinions without any standing to do so. Chip shortages has affected them. Yeah, Mr. J Nice says that. Long Rider says the other. Yeah, I think, and like I said, I don't know. I always kind of turn things back on my inward on myself. I don't want to like I said, throw too many stones in that direction. I do try to, like, when I would do something, say I was talking about the R7, people came and were asking me, they're like, well, the R7, it doesn't even say that it's APS-C in that latest rumor. But anytime he ever talked about the R7, he meant it as an APS-C camera. And if you actually look at the article that he posted, there's an APS-C camera on the actual picture. And so it's all rumors to a certain degree. It's all speculation. But from that, I try to go over and say what makes sense, in my opinion, for where the R7, should be with their specs, and what makes sense when it comes to, or at least what I think they will have. And usually I try to let people know where the rumor ends and where my speculation begins. And I think that, that's my pretty much only way that I can feel like I contribute to it. Because without completely just stealing an article and, basically saying, here, reading Canon Rumors to you, and not giving you any reason to go check out the rumors for yourself or check out the site for yourself. If I don't add to it, then I do feel like I'm just plagiarizing and copying, and maybe not giving the due credit to the people who need it. Okay, Long Rider, they will never show you any of their work or their abilities, so that if they are in any good with cameras, what is good? What good is their opinion? If they are any good with cameras, what is their opinion? Long Rider said, I agree. I mean, I think it's about trying to be transparent with people as much as possible. I always let people know I think I've let this chat know. I said, man, a lot of you are, probably way more talented with a camera than I am. I just so happen to have the time and have, I guess, had the desire to make a YouTube channel with this. So I try to learn from the community. Robert M knows this for sure. Um, Robert, he's corrected me multiple times when I said stupid things, and I welcome it. And I've learned a lot from you guys. But I mean, overall, like, I've learned more doing this channel. I think if you go back and watch some of my more like recent travel videos that I made, I mean, I think I can tell a story and, put together some composition. But I mean, I'm not going to say I'm the best, but you know, I've worked around a camera or two, so I think that at least I have some skills in that department. But I let people know where my strengths lie. Um, Robert, I was surprised the Sony came out with so many new models during the chip shortage. Did they though? I mean, they did, but they also they pretty much came out with the new model and then just said, "Hey, we don't have any more," which every camera company did that. Uh, but they came out with the model and didn't ship many of them that we know of. Mr. J Nice, you do a great job. I appreciate that, Mr. J Nice. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see because supposedly, according to Canon Rumors, which I keep saying that and my heart drops a little bit, but according to Canon Rumors, there was supposed to be multiple, or there is supposed to be multiple Canon cameras coming out this year. We already had this, R5C, which is stealing a lot of the components from the R5, so they probably had them sitting around, or not sitting around, but they've ordered them en masse. But we're supposed to get whatever this maybe R7 is in March, and then more and more bodies. They're saying that this is the year of the body, so it's going to be interesting to see if the chip shortages will hurt this or not. Long Rider, you have to be very careful when analyzing financial reports. They often do things to prop up stock prices, which includes sometimes making cuts and taking losses. It doesn't always give a clear picture. That's true. I'm not a financial guru by any stretch of the imagination. I try to look at it from like a unit sold. If they're projecting something up, then if they don't meet that criteria, I mean, not just saying bottom line, but if they're actually saying units shipped or units sold, if they don't actually meet the expectations, then it can really affect them. So um, hopefully they got this thing right, because I just want to see a healthy industry overall. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. I enjoy your content. No one knows anything for certain. We're all speculating here. You do a great job, Matt. Appreciate it, TJ. TJ Bronx. Like it. To someone who doesn't understand how to read them. I agree. That's true. Um, like I said, that's just a little small snippet out of it. I didn't get out their entire financial reports, but I just heard forecast up. That sounded good, at least in my opinion. Hopefully, I think it makes sense for the camera industry. I mean, we all know that with the chip shortages has affected things, but even before the chip shortages, there's just been a steady decline of cameras. It's became more and more niche, and it sucks. I don't want the industry to go away, and I'm not saying it is, but it seems like it's went more and more niche because of smartphones and things like that. Um, um, and so I just want it to continue, and I think for them to forecast things up, hopefully that is a good sign, and it makes sense that this year in particular that it will start going back up. Hopefully because of things opening up, and maybe travel this summer will actually pick up to normal around the world, not just here. And so it makes sense that camera companies want to come out with new stuff to give, travel videographers and photographers their stuff. And I think that that is a good thing here. Robert M. Long Rider, even if you understand how to read financial statements, there's a lot of creative accounting. Yes. Long Rider said, yes, Robert, I agree fully. Canon is raising prices on certain lenses. Yeah. Is there any more room to raise prices on Canon lenses? I'm just kidding. Oh, throwing a little bit of a fanboy thing. No, I want Canon to. I hope that Canon will get some Tamron lenses or for Sigma lenses or something. Come on, let's get something going on. Long Rider, kiddo, I'm not speaking on you, or you are a very humble young man. I'm more referring to people like Tony Northrup, who makes statements that are totally outrageous. No comment. I'm just kidding. He actually said in one of his videos that sports photographers call him for advice on cameras. Does anybody really believe that? I don't. Oh, I don't know. I mean, he's an okay guy. Very successful at this thing. I'm just it's so terrible because it's hard to have opinions on a channel like this without alienate people. And that's a sad thing. It's like, I hope and I try, if somebody has a different opinion than me, to learn from them. Or not necessarily learn from them, but hear them out. As long as they're doing it in a respectful way and we can have like civil discourse. But going back to the tribalism talk, it's easy to, if I come out and say this camera sucks in my opinion and this reason and blah 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 blah, or give a strong opinion about something, then I'm going to get a lot of negative feedback. Can't we all just get along? Yeah. But with Tony Northrup, I've enjoyed some of his stuff. I don't watch him that much, to be real. I do know that at least when it comes to the analytics of the channel, I see that my subscribers, or my audience rather, watches his stuff too. I don't dislike him, but he has said some things that are fairly ridiculous in my mind too. Tony must get a lot of hateful feedback. Robert M. I agree. I think with him, his channel being so big, and like I said, his channel's just so big, and he says kind of what's the word? Dumb thing. He says a lot of questionable things. He has to get a lot of hate. I mean, he has to have like leather thick skin in order to be doing this for so long. Hopefully he's not going to be the next one. It's like, I quit. I like to blur my background because I don't want you to know where I'm at. Oh. OG saying, what did Tony say? I'm not talking about particular stuff. And like, one thing about Tony, I personally find funny. He'll take a news story like Canon Rumors story or whatever the case is that are weeks old, and he'll like put on there breaking news, and I'll just be like, wait, like what's going on? Something huge. I didn't catch this. And next thing I know, he's like pulling off his glasses, which he's doing that as a parody, I believe, because I see him do it in all the different videos, because I went and actually used a little picture of that. But I think that that's funny when he's like, breaking news, this just in, and he just like starts talking about a rumor that we've heard 2 or 3 weeks ago, which is his right. But it's like he starts, like, I think he's gonna add something that is like his or something, and it's whatever. It is what it is. But he's nice enough guy. It seems like his wife's pretty. Yeah, he said that breaking news is a parody. Yeah, I've noticed it is a parody. He's joking. Just kind of like me with Camera Wars. I go, "Hey everyone," you know, I mean, kind of doing my like newsy voice. So I can't really say one thing or another. I gotta say, I kind of miss doing some Camera Wars sometimes. And I was thinking about writing a Camera Wars video for today, and then this Canon Rumors stuff came out. Or like he's saying he's quitting. And I was like, man, it would just be in bad taste. Like, I don't want to cover that in Camera Wars where I'm making all these different jokes. And then I have to talk about something like Canon Rumors guy is getting so much toxic, um, feedback that he's quitting. It's like, well, how can I make like light of that situation? So I just figured let's do a live stream, talk about the industry as a whole. Um, Mr. J Nice, I will take all ridiculous statements made by YouTube creators with a grain of salt. Tony not hurting anyone. I disagree with him sometimes. I agree. He's not hurting anybody. And I like I enjoy his stuff in what I've seen. I never like I don't know. I've never really found him uh I think he's fairly, I don't know what the right word is. Maybe I just haven't seen him enough to make a strong opinion about him either way. But when it comes to YouTubers and things like people building, like I feel like I have to feel like I want to prop people up personally as much as I can, and it doesn't mean that other people in the chat or anybody, Long Rider, I always appreciate your comments and feedback, and we're having an open form discussion. So, as long as we're all being respectful of each other here, not cutting each other down, Long Rider can have his opinion about Tony or whatever, and y'all can agree or disagree or whatever the case is. But from my perspective, I don't want to point too much at people in this space who are doing YouTube because I don't want to put myself on some pedestal acting like I'm doing something different or better necessarily than any other person in particular. I want to just be like, hey, I make what I can. They make what they can, and hats off to them. Hopefully, the people that like them, and that's great. Make a living for yourself and for your family. I'll make jokes about people and do it all in light humor, but I'm not going to necessarily strongly look at somebody and say, hey, you shouldn't make that video, you suck. So, I mean, that's just not going to be even if I believe that, I don't think there's a reason for me to necessarily put that out and say that personally. Um, OG, yeah, he said, okay. I'm curious whether Fro will address Canon Rumors. I think Fro will go directly at Canon Rumors. Not at Canon Rumors in a bad way. I think he will address it though. Because he's good about, I appreciate this about Fro, is that he is, and he's maybe in the position to, and I'm not sure how he's always been. Maybe that's just regular his personality, but he will give his opinion. He's not afraid of giving his opinion. He will come out and like slam the toxic fanboys or whatever. He will say that. So I think he's going to address it, and I think he's maybe the best person to address it, and within a joking manner. I mean, he's not going to joke about that particular situation, but I don't know. I feel like he's built up the authority and the reputation to be able to do that. And maybe I didn't feel like, I just didn't feel like I necessarily was the person to address it in that setting. OG, I've just joined. Have you already talked about what's happening with Canon Rumors guys? Mr. J Nice, I like Camera Wars. I appreciate that. I enjoy Camera Wars as well. I was just seeing, I'm not saying I will never do it, but with Camera Wars, if I go back, like I can see if I can pull this up here. I can show you Camera Wars is always, they're always my most divisive. They're always my most divisive videos, and they're always, I mean, they're just not really getting as much traction. And I kind of hate to make it all about that. But I notice when I go dive deep and just talk more natural, it seems like it's connecting more with people, and I can't ignore that fact. And I did for a long time because I genuinely like being sarcastic and making camera wars, and I don't want to abandon the people, that subscribed for camera wars, because that's a big thing of what I did. At the same time, I can't like deny what was going on here. Let's see here. OG, yeah, we did talk about the Canon Rumors guy, and we're still continuing to talk about it. But a quick brief are funny to me, and I like them. Yeah, I do too. I'll go back and show that part. But yeah, like a brief summary. Essentially, he seems to have quit because of the toxicity of the industry and the fans of particular YouTubers. Hopefully not mine. I don't think mine, but maybe other YouTubers have fans that have been attacking him and his family, and so he's just done with it. And I completely understand. Or I don't understand because I haven't personally had that happen, but I understand that if that is happening, he needs to just step back and do something different. If he's not enjoying it anymore and it's becoming that toxic, then walk away. All right, let me go here to screen share. All right, so let's see. Hopefully everybody can see this. So, like, these are live streams or different stuff. So not everything is one-to-one, and thanks for slowing down, but this is my last Camera Wars video. Has 863 views, which obviously I appreciate every views, but 4 comments. Its like percentage is actually better than most Camera Wars. But then you get over here, and even this, which wasn't a huge topic or wasn't like a necessarily super breaking news type stuff, with the Sigma, that has more views. You start getting crazy up here, 3,800, 2,600, 6,000, 1,300. And then if I go back right here, this is non-Camera Wars, 11,000 views, 7,000. And this is me just talking. And then go back to Camera Wars again, 500 views, a 90%, not like, and that's with a smaller audience. So, like these actually, I love doing these too, these camera fights, but people got upset. This was a divisive thing right here. You're getting 69%. Camera Wars again, like these are what I was used to. This is actually before they stopped hiding the like or dislike button, because when they stopped hiding the dislike button, like most of the stuff, people don't really give as many dislikes if they can't see them, which good or bad, I think there's ups and downs about that. But like Camera Wars, 81% likes. This one's fun. I like doing them, but they really divide people. But I would notice too, if I had a divisive Camera Wars, then the video right after that would usually get some hits too. But 78%, like I was dividing a lot of people. And I know it's a funny parody type thing, but I had heard there's just so many people that would come at me saying, hey, why are you talking this way? This is weird. And so I had so many people, or people that think I'm just copying Fro, even though I've talked to Fro personally. And he was cool with the idea or whatever. He saw what I was doing, saw I was getting an audience, and was saying, hey, do what you're doing. It's cool. And, was giving me different ideas of stuff that I can do. So like, you see something like this and you just wonder, hey, am I doing something right? And I can't explain to everybody that, hey, I've talked to Fro. Fro says he's, had the influences and it's not a big deal and he understands. I have to kind of like do an explainer all the time. So I'm just like, well, some people really like that. Okay, let's go to the WoW camera. I agree. I don't understand why he was attacked. Canon Rumors was one of the most accurate websites, almost like just facts about what he knows. Completely agree. That's what we're all trying to figure out here. Why was he attacked? Hopefully that, sorry, I didn't mean to go a side tangent, but that explains why I'm not doing as much Camera Wars. It's just not connecting. Wow, people really got butthurt. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I mean, I do stuff, I want to kind of, poke fun, but I don't want to like hurt people's feelings or whatever. I don't know. I don't want to be part of the toxic group. So it doesn't mean I'm going to completely retire it forever. Just I have to go with what's working, and I don't mind being just more natural. And when the weather gets better, I want to start doing, more vlogs, not vlogging in a normal way, but like vlogging and talking about the camera news as I do it. So I'm not just always in a studio. Like I want to be showing people I know a little bit about how to set up a pretty shot while I'm doing it, and make a story out of it somewhat. So I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to be uh, Peter McKinnon or Casey Neistat or others, but I want to, I might talk about camera news as I'm walking through the park or do something, or maybe I'm at a location. So I want to do more of that too. And so talking more natural, maybe it doesn't confuse people as much. Let's get to this WoW camera. That is the last main topic here. 4/3 rumors here. So what do we know? So I'm not sure. 4/3 rumors, he has FT3. I'm thinking the higher FT is then it's, I guess, more reliable. Down here, y'all might know more about this site than I do. This is a very recent site for me. But this says an FT5, so maybe this is as high as it goes, because he seems to be very assertive here. He says the new OM WoW camera will be priced above $2,000 and ship in March. So maybe that's the wow. It's like, hey, this costs too much money. Wow, surprise. Hopefully they can justify a price like that. He said, now I can give you two news about the OM. They will announce on February 24th. Then shipment will start in March. They will announce, so yeah. Price will be above. So I'm guessing an FT5 is like his CR3. I'm not sure how accurate he is. Or G, I don't know who's running this site. But over here it says this is a FT3, which I guess is probably not as reliable. He said, does the OM, so this is like a question, does the new OM digital camera, OM system, I don't know, whatever they are, OM systems, Olympus, a camera, will it feature a new 24 BSI non-stacked sensor? Because he's saying, meanwhile over here, Sony has a stacked 4/3 sensor that could be used. So I don't know where they're going with that. Hey, buddy, I'll take you out in just a minute, okay? My dog needs to go to the restroom here. It's okay. I'll take you out in a bit. We'll wrap up here, okay? Appreciate it. I know. Can you wait just a little bit? I'll see if Mom can take you out. No. Okay. All right. Anybody seeing this? Y'all hearing this? Y'all hearing my dog right here? Because I'm starting to feel terrible. What do you guys think about this WoW camera? Do you think it is gonna? I hope I can get my wife down here to take them out. Can you wait just a minute? I'm gonna get Mom to take you out if I can. Yeah, guys, let me text my wife and see if she'll come down here. But my dog apparently has to go to the bathroom like now. This is what am I gonna do here? I don't want to be mean to my dog. I'm making a call to my wife, trying to see if she will take the dogs out to the restroom. That sounds urgent, Mr. Cryer. Yeah, I agree. He does that though. He's good about making you feel bad with stuff like that. But he's good about holding his restroom too. So I can't fault him too much. What do y'all think about this OM digital camera? Do y'all think it's what could it have that's truly going to wow us? I would assume that if it pushes the K's up too high, so if it's like an 8K camera, then the megapixel count would have to be very high. I think that would really cut back on the low light that is already going to be an issue on the a micro four thirds camera. But one thing that I have noticed that in all the different promotional stuff that they've been having come out, it it seems like it's uh, always showing stuff in low light. So if it's doing things in low light, like I feel like they're marketing that, like they're in the Arctic showing low light stuff. So I'm wondering if this is their way of saying, "Hey, look, we fixed the low light problem." I don't know. We'll have to see. Mr. J. Nye says, "I think the OM system will do a computational photography like cell phones." That kind of seems like where they're possibly going, and I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like camera companies are going to have to start messing with it just because of we see how much software can affect things. We just imagine how small the sensors are in those little cell phones. I mean, they're like the size of a pinky nail, either or smaller, and the software has really cleaned things up. Uh, a lot of the Apple sensors haven't changed. It's been 12 megapixels, but they've just gotten better and better. And so, what can you can't argue with some of the results. I'm not saying they're as good as like having a interchangeable lens, full frame, or APS-C camera or any of that, but it's incredible if you look over the last 10 years trajectory and see like where camera phones have went from 10 years ago to now. No one can deny that they've improved more than our cameras in general have. Um, so we'll see. Uh, so I think they'll have to at least address that in the future. I just hope that they address it and give us the best. What's the word? Give us the best version of computational photography or videography, and allow us to shut it off to a certain degree. And I don't know, give us what works about it and maybe cut out what doesn't. if we can do that. Yeah, I would welcome a good mix of the two. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with it too. Okay, so um, the sensor will be a BSI-2. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that if you're going to have a smaller sensor, as far as I know, the BSI sensors in general are better low light. So you if you're going to have a small sensor in particular, you need to get that figured out. OM, Robert M, OM, and GH6 need to be concerned about the XH2 and R7. I'm so excited about the XH2. I really like. I'm very biased for Fujifilm. I like the way they look. I like the way they're used. And my first camera, or my first real interchangeable lens camera, was Fujifilm XT30, and I've gotten good results out of that camera. Some of my favorite stuff that I've gotten has been out of that camera. So I hope that the XH2 can fix their autofocusing, at least issues. I mean, they're not caught up with the rest of the industry because they're doing things with cameras that, with their APS-C cameras that Canon and Sony have not touched. I mean, they were 10-bit in 2019, or was it 18? One of the two. They were 10-bit with, I think, the XT3 was 10-bit 4K 60. I mean, I know it's a smaller sensor, but that's incredible. And they're doing that type of stuff. I'm getting yelled at over here. TJ Bronx, computational photography is really good, but you can tell the difference between that and a good sensor with a good lens. Agreed. TJ Bronx, I would welcome a good mix of the two. And Robert M showed a picture of a dog, reminding me that the dog needs to go outside. That is true. Is there any subject? We've been going for about an hour here, and I could go for another hour as far as with just talking and things of that like that. But I don't know if there's any big subjects that we want to go in. Do y'all have any thoughts on the OM camera? Because if not, I do need to be wrapping it up pretty soon. My wife's going to go to work. I have to watch. She works today, and I watched the kid today, so I am going to have to be wrapping up pretty soon. And if she doesn't come out and take the dogs out, then I have to. So maybe take the last few minutes here and answer any of the questions or go over anything that you guys want to talk about. Mr. Cryer, good stuff, gentlemen. I'm off to do ranch work. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Mr. Cryer. I appreciate you coming. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope I've been entertaining on a somewhat sad news day. Oh, thank you. They need to use the restroom, but get those dogs out, Mr. Cryer. Great talk. Can't wait for the next live. Thank you, TJ. The lives are just, I'm improving. I'm trying to do better and better with the lives. I don't know if it's going to be something that I do on a regular basis. Thank you, Mr. Cryer. I very much appreciate that. Thank you. I don't think it's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna be something I do all the time, but if the news requires it and the opportunity comes out, I'm not necessarily a live streaming channel, but I will do what I can do. Okay, so Lewis Visuals. Hey man, I have a question. I'm in the process of upgrading a new main camera. I'm deciding between the A7S III or the FX3. Okay, with the FX3 and the A7S III, I don't know obviously what you're doing, but if you're looking at those two cameras, I'll just give my quick thoughts on those two cameras. If you're going to be in an environment that is going to be extra hot and you're going to be using video for a very extended period of time, then the FX3 makes the most sense because you're going to need the fan essentially. If I've never had my A7S III overheat on me, so personally I don't see it as much of an issue. But if you're maybe going to be on a professional like set and you 100% need super no overheating, then obviously the FX3 makes sense, and some of the different ergonomics make sense as well. So that is a thought process that you need to consider. On the flip side, I personally went with the A7S III because even though I'm going to be shooting in hot weather, I know it doesn't overheat very often. When I'm here in the studio, I've shot 4K for, ever, not ever, but I've shot it I've just never had it overheat. I never had a problem with it. I enjoy it. The reason I went with it is because I need an EVF because the screens on the Sony they're terrible. I think we can all come together and agree that Sony screens suck. So the Sony screens are terrible, and they don't compete with the rest of the camera industry, and hopefully they can upgrade them in the future. But if all you have is the LCD screen like the FX3, then you need, to me, I needed a EVF, especially when I'm going to be in a very bright environment, because you're not going to be able to rely on your LCD screen. To me, that's my personal opinion. So I was going to be in bright environments. I want to be able to look through the EVF, and even if I'm just setting up the composition of the shot and I'm going to be using the LCD screen most of the time, I want to at least have the option to look through the EVF first. So that is my big thing with that. And with the Canon R5C coming out, should I just wait until Sony drops the competitor? Yeah. Robert M., I would not bet on an R5C competitor anytime soon. I agree. I don't think Sony's interested in that right now. I think the FX3, the R5C is somewhat the FX3 of the Sony. So I think that was their response from what we've heard, and nothing's set in stone with Sony. But we've heard whispers about an A7 R5. We've heard whispers about an A9 III. There's whispers about some camera that is supposed to be different and surprise us, but most people think it's either going to be like an APS-C camera or maybe a very budget in full frame camera. So I've heard very little about any kind of like R5C competitor, and I don't necessarily foresee that until maybe you get into like, I mean, you have the A1, which already is incredible, but it has the price tag. But I don't really see you getting much of a competitor out of that unless you go with maybe another cinema camera, or I don't know what competitor is a different question. I mean, it just depends on what you're going to get out of it. But I don't think you're going to get anything that new. Maybe an A7S4 next year, possibly. I don't think they're going to wait as long between the S3 2 and or what they did, because they had that earthquake in the sensor department. I think that's what delayed it so long, and there just wasn't a need for it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see them necessarily. I don't think you should 100% wait on that. So that's my opinion. If you want to go, those are the two differences between the A7S3 and the FX3. And I don't think, just an opinion, but I don't think that they're coming out with anything like the R5C for a reason, or anytime soon. Do you know why Sony doesn't do internal RAW except for the most high-end cameras? Got it. Thank you so much. No problem. Like I said, all opinions. Do your research more so, but that's just my quick snippet. I think the reason is they just want to segment their market. I guess that's the only reason I can think of. I think they have the capabilities of doing it. Their cameras are not. I think they're capable. They have the processing power to do it, but I just don't think they want to. That's the only thing I can think of. I really wish that I think that that's what they should do to compete or help compete with like the R5C, is do some firmware updates on the FX3 and the A7S3. Add some wave formats and different things to the LCD screen. That would be helpful with the firmware, and maybe add RAW. I think that is the two things that they need to do to compete, because I don't think, as far as hardware goes, I don't think that we're going to be getting anything new. Just my thoughts. But hey, everybody, I appreciate everybody that showed up. I do need to get off of here. My wife's about to leave. Got to watch the little one. And I'm going to take out those dogs and let them use the bathroom, because they need to use the bathroom. And yes, appreciate everybody that showed up. And we'll try to always do better with this channel when it comes to doing any of the different articles and stuff like that. We want to make sure we don't want to lose anybody else. Like we've already lost Nakashita and the Canon Rumors guy. We don't want to lose anybody else. So anyways, y'all have a good one. Appreciate you all for being here. And until next time, peace. Been really cool if like I had the finish button right when I said it.